It was for the first time that the breathwork started without a tanny. I felt strong energies in my body warming me up until I was so hot that I wished I would have got something to cool down. I saw a big lake on a sunny day with a beautiful blue sky. Then I felt a breeze on my body. I was suddenly floating in my back on the water, and I opened my arms like a spread eagle. Cold but smooth water was flooding my body. It was a great feeling, relaxing, and I felt so light. The water became cooler and cooler, until I suddenly felt it became pack ice. It started at my feet and ran up my body to cover me completely. It was quite heavy on my body, and I felt trapped again. I wanted to stop it and thought, no, and then my body began to dissolve into air. The next moment I was bodiless. As if I had turned a switch, I was in complete darkness where there's nothing. No need to breathe, it was so perfect. It felt as if I was in space, but it appeared darker and less crowded. Yet there was one source of light in the middle of my vision. A wonderful neon green glowing cube that turned slowly around its own axis. Nearby, some fine rays of red and blue light were zigzagging elegantly in a smooth motion. Wow, I felt peace like I had never felt before. Total harmony, balance, and a unique sense of oneness. One with the nothingness, but especially with that glowing cube. I sensed that it was very special. It was so pure and sacred. The feeling was just overwhelming. I realized this cube was the divine. I was part of the divine. The divine was part of me. I felt blessed and sacred. After a while that seemed like eternity, I wanted my supporters to be with me in this experience, to let them feel what I felt, so I asked them for their hands. I held them both while we were floating together through the nothingness. It felt so good to be one with them. I believed everyone deserved to feel that. When the vision finally faded, I had the sensation that my mother was on the right where my friend was, and I turned to her in a hug and sensed the presence of my mother. The feeling told me that my mother loved me unconditionally, that she had done everything to protect me when I was a child, and that she didn't owe me a thing. When I thanked her in my mind, I turned to Sean, who was on my left, and went into his hug. I felt the presence of my father, which was very strong, much stronger than my mother's. It was as if the spirit of my father had gone into Sean's body. It felt so real. I started having visions of my father's childhood. It was like a slideshow of moments in which I saw him suffer very much. He had had a cruel mother who had abused him emotionally in the worst way, and I felt very sorry for him. Then I saw a picture of Dad and me at the age of around 6, when we had a happy moment of joy and laughter. And then I felt his sadness, his remorse for what he had done to me. I felt his plea to forgive him for the pain he had caused me. And in that moment I did. I truly forgave him because his emotions were pure, without the deceitful behavior that he had shown back then when drunk. I think I cried tears of compassion. I embraced my father dearly to say that I was fine and that I could finally make peace with him. It was a gorgeous feeling that I can't describe right with words. I was so grateful for getting this message by him, since it could have never happened in an ordinary state. But in order to be able to forgive him, I had to connect with him emotionally, and since he had died 19 years earlier, it was a unique way to do so. This experience was the most amazing of all and filled my heart endlessly. I felt truly enlightened. I know it will always stay with me because I will never forget the vision and the emotion that settled in my soul. I have eventually forgiven my past.